Number one, it's good, very good. The acting in it's great. It's got Pedro Pascal, who everything he touches in TV seems to fucking hit the mark.
That's true. He's a wonderful actor, but he's got that sort of Kurt Russell disease where he clearly is so good at picking his projects.
Harry's a big fan, Harry Barnforth, and he sent me a podcast where the showrunner and the director of the show were discussing it, how they make it and stuff, and they were just talking at length about directing Pedro Pascal. You know, he'll do the line and then he'll do a bit of body language or flinch or do something like that, which they haven't told him to do, and they're like, I can't explain it, but he's just so fucking good. Do you know what I mean?
It's like you didn't know it was the right thing to do there until you saw it.
100%. And I've been so pleasantly surprised at the first 2 episodes. They've stayed so true to the game. And the actual director of Naughty Dog, who had a film studio that made the game, I think his name's Neil Brockman, he actually directed the second episode. And this is his first foray into, you know, anything film. And the other director that was in the studio talking with him, the only thing he said was he kept calling cut too quickly and he should let it run a bit in case anything else comes in right at the last. But he said other than that, he didn't give him any direction at all. And the second episode was really, really good. And I was thinking, if you've played The Last of Us, some of it, like the cutscenes and everything like that, and just general playing a game, it's like you're playing a fucking film.
It does feel now like sometimes you're not even playing a game, you're operating the most complex DVD menu in between different scenes or special. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, the cutscenes ended, I forgot, oh yeah, I'm playing a game, I actually need to go do something now. Because obviously there's a fairly now rich history of video game adaptations to films. Generally they've been awful, but if you look at the ones that have been awful and the ones that have been good, generally they're getting better more recently. But surely that's also because of the type of games they're adapting. You know, if you adapt something like Tekken, it's probably going to be harder to create a genuine, interesting story and cinematic experience compared to something like The Last of Us, which, you know, the beauty of the game and these sort of games, like I've played games like it before, is the storytelling. And obviously it's the gameplay as well, but the storytelling, it's not just cutscenes. The storytelling is woven into the gameplay and experience.
But Neil Druckmann, who's from Naughty Dog, said he tried numerous times to adapt the story into a film, and he said it was just impossible to fit it all in, and therefore that's why it had to go to TV, separated into episodes.
The classic thing with conventional television networks back in the day was, you know, they want to make a series and they want to know they can make 5 or 6 or 7 more seasons to keep milking that cow. It's different with these streaming giants nowadays where they don't really need to do that. So you've seen a trend recently where they're much more happy to sanction and finance and produce miniseries which are always going to be standalone. They're going to start and end in that one season. And essentially what you're getting, especially with the incredible production values and the fact that working in TV is not seen as a dirty thing for movie stars anymore, you're starting to get essentially 10-hour films in the form of miniseries. So I feel like these sort of video games and a lot of novels can be done justice now.
It's so weird how the studios operate. They commission one series and then 2 episodes of The Last of Us came out. It's been fucking, everyone's been raving about it. You know, this 3rd episode that's coming out this week has got, I think, 96 or 97% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the highest ever.
Which is impressive. But sometimes shit stuff can get good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. And you see the difference with the audience. But word of mouth is still, I feel like, the truest barometer to go by. And my girlfriend, who doesn't give a fuck or know shit about video games, came to me today being like, have you ever played this game? The Last of Us. Apparently the show's really good. All my friends have been telling me about it. And that's when, you know, when it's broken through to that level of someone that really shouldn't know about it, knowing about it and badgering me saying they want to watch it, that's when you know it's like hit something in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, Sophie makes me laugh because I'm a go-to. She's like, what video game will Declan... I give her a list. But yeah, the show is really good. What HBO have done it's obvious that the studios now, because they would used to commission like 4 seasons at a go, and then it would be cancelled if it was doing shit. Now what they do is they commission the first one, the 2 episodes have come out, and I was like scrolling on my phone, it just come up, The Last of Us renewed for season 2, and I was just scratching my head like, what, they only sanctioned 1 series?
To be fair though, back when it was TV ratings, that shit is so antiquated and off. Like, they literally, how they do most TV ratings, like the Nielsen ratings and all that, and the Barb ratings, they basically just have about 20,000 volunteers who have things on their boxes that tells them what they're watching. And then they go by that. Compare that to the fact that these streaming giants know exactly how many people in the world have watched it, how many people in this particular demographic have watched it, how many people have watched it, and how that compares into a formula of all these other things they like to watch, how they respond to the specific artwork, how long they watch each episode for, if they watch it more than once, if they stop watching it at this particular point, so maybe cut out that scene, if they always seem to pause it and walk away when it's this particular character on screen, so maybe we'll cut him from the next season. They have such an absurd wealth of knowledge and data to draw upon now.
Basically Moneyball TV executives, like data
Times a million with robots added in.
algorithms, and I guarantee you they have algorithms monitoring social media, so if it's like hashtag they're like, oh, this is popular. Because it's got me thinking about the varied history of video game adaptions. Like, you touched on the duds, like fucking, sorry Marcus if you're watching this, but Doom starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, fucking, there was that one cool scene in it where it was literally like Doom.
Also, that film is kind of quirky just to see The Rock as a bad guy, which you've never seen again. But also, it's like, that's that classic thing of, you're using the brand, so you're using the fact that people love this video game. They're the ones that are going to watch this. So let's then completely change it, completely change the plot, not even use the creature design. It's like, what the fuck?
Another dud was Resident Evil series. That was fucking
Do you know what though?
dog shit.
I watched the
first one.
The first one's pretty good as a standalone film. Terrible adaptation. Standalone film, pretty good. The second one, I have affection for. It's shit, but I just love it for some reason. Everything after that is horrendous garbage. But I watched those before I played the game, so I actually didn't know how shit they were and how fucking fantastic the games were. But again, that's another example of just take the brand name, take sort of some of the creature designs, some of the characters' names, but don't even have them anything like each other, and just make a piece of shit. Why did you want to adapt it in the first place?
I guess they thought it would do well because everyone likes Resident Evil, but they fucked it over. Silent Hill, the first one, was pretty good actually.
That's another film that's a film where you're kind of supposed to hate it, but I just don't. I'm like, it's all right. Yeah. It's no Silent Hill. Like the Silent Hill, the games, I mean, are fucking up there with some of the best games ever. The film is pretty good though. Like it's more faithful, at least in the spirit of Silent Hill, than Resident Evil by a long shot. Yeah,
and we've talked at length about our love for, Gears of War, because that was the first really on the Xbox 360. That was the first game, in my opinion, that I played, and I was just sitting there like, this is like a fucking film. Like,
I don't even think you needed to get that far. I think when everyone just saw the trailer, you were like, well, this is a film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Mad World. I remember that.
I'll tell you another one. Halo, for the longest time, Peter Jackson was attached to make the Halo movie. I remember not even liking Halo or playing it and being so excited about that.
Well, the Gears of War, I've done a post. They've finally looks like it's going to be made, but I wouldn't hold your breath on it. This is now like the 9th time, and it will get to a certain stage, I reckon, and then they'll pull out on it.